It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Jules Sterling, and I make sure the contracts don't catch fire.
This is Elena Rossi.
I'm Buck Reynolds.
And I'm Dan Miller. We have a great show for you today.
After yesterday's deep dive into agent AI brokerage and that BNSF Barstow project, we're shifting gears today to some serious strategic moves. We're talking high-value security, global reshoring, and a few regulatory wins that'll actually make a driver's life easier.
Finally. I mean, the FMCSA actually did something that doesn't involve adding another layer of digital red tape. They're finally killing the requirement to carry a printed ELD manual in the cab.
Actually, you see, it's about time. It was an absurd relic. I mean, we had drivers getting cited in 2024, thousands of them, just for not having a physical booklet when the manual was literally on the screen.
Look, bottom line is it's a win for the fleets. Less paperwork, fewer gotcha violations during roadside inspections. It's like removing a penalty for a technicality in a game. It just makes the flow better, right?
Right. But the thing is, the feds are still going to expect you to know how to use the damn thing. You can't just say, "I don't know" to an inspector and expect to keep rolling.
Exactly. The liability doesn't vanish just because the paper does. And speaking of liability, did you all see the results from that safety blitz in Ottawa?
Oh, I saw that. It was, a bit grim, right?
Grim is an understatement. Out of 55 vehicles, 21 were pulled off the road immediately. That's a 38% out of service rate. My thing is, that's nearly double the North American average. It's a failure of basic maintenance.
Look, I get it. But you have to remember we're coming out of a 3-year freight recession. Some of these smaller guys, they deferred maintenance just to keep the lights on. I mean, you can't expect a guy to replace a set of tires when he's barely breaking even.
Oh, so we'll just let the brakes fail for the sake of the bottom line? That's a fantastic strategy for a catastrophic insurance claim. Complacency is the precursor to catastrophe, Buck. Period.
It's a risk-reward calculation, Elena. But the market is rebounding now, which leads us to the infrastructure side of things. The Port of Virginia just wrapped that $450 million harbor project, 55 feet deep. That's the deepest commercial channel on the East Coast now.
That's actually quite impressive, right? I mean, for the carriers, it means no more waiting for the tides or those one-way traffic windows in Norfolk. It's sort of a massive efficiency play. Wait, I shouldn't say massive. It's a significant efficiency play.
Exactly. It allows those ultra-large container vessels to come in fully laden. We're talking 24,000 TEUs. It's like upgrading from a 2-lane road to a super highway for the biggest ships in the water.
As long as the roads leading out of the port can actually handle the volume. I've seen too many landmark victories turn into gridlock once the trucks hit the asphalt.
Fair point, Buck. But look, the money is flowing. We're seeing this in the finance sector, too. TFS and WEX just launched this new equipment financing platform. They're using some match engine technology to connect carriers with 70 different lenders. It's basically Tinder for truck loans.
Tinder for trucks? I love that. But, is it actually faster? Because my clients are always complaining that the banks take forever to approve a simple lease.
That's the play here. They're trying to democratize the capital. Aaron Case over at TFS says fleet confidence has skyrocketed in the last 2 months. People are finally ready to replace those aging units they've been nursing since 2022.
Well, if the money's there, I hope they're buying better safety tech and not just more chrome.
Speaking of strategic shifts, we've got to talk about Harley-Davidson. They're reshoring the production of the Revolution Max engines back to Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. They're calling it the back to the brick strategy.
Finally. The risk of keeping high-tech production in Thailand with the current tariff volatility was just too high. Actually, their CFO mentioned tariffs could cost them nearly $90 million in 2026 alone. Reshoring isn't just about patriotism. It's about risk mitigation.
It's a classic hedge. You bring the production closer to the dealer network, you cut the tariff risk, and you lean into the brand heritage. It's a smart move to stabilize those sagging global sales.
It's sort of a trend, right? We're seeing this regional resilience thing everywhere. Even the UK is hammering down on deforestation. They've got this new framework where companies with over 50 million in turnover have to map their entire supply chain for forest risk commodities. Cocoa, coffee, rubber, you have to know exactly which plot of land it came from.
It's the perma-crisis era. You're not just a logistics manager anymore. You're a geopolitical analyst and a human rights auditor. If you can't prove your soy didn't clear-cut a rainforest, you're facing civil sanctions.
Before we move on, a quick note from our sponsor. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. This show is powered by The Stack, developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF.
All right, let's look at the macro view. The ISM spring forecast is out, and it's actually surprisingly bullish. Manufacturing revenue is expected to jump over 8% this year. That's nearly double what they thought in December.
That's a significant jump. It shows the AI infrastructure supercycle is actually hitting the real economy. We're seeing a surge in production capacity and capital expenditures.
I'll believe the surge when I see it in the lanes. I mean, the ISM reports are great, but they don't tell you if the drivers are actually making more money.
Well, look at Saya. They're not waiting for the reports. They just activated new terminals in Duluth, Minnesota and Columbia, Missouri. They're up to 218 facilities now. They're playing the density game, trying to get closer to the customer to cut transit times.
Saya is aggressive, and it's working. But they're feeling the growing pains of scaling that fast. Revenue is at record highs, but the operational friction is there.
It's like a growth spurt, right? You're getting bigger, but your coordination is a bit off. Which actually reminds me of UPS. They're dropping $48 million into 27 new temperature-controlled crossdocks globally. They're targeting the GLP-1 weight loss drug market. Wegovy, Zepbound, that stuff needs strict refrigeration.
The cold chain arms race. If a shipment of biologics hits a temperature excursion, you're not just losing a pallet, you're losing millions of dollars in high-value medicine. The WHO says 50% of vaccines are wasted globally due to transit failures. It's a disaster.
That's why the cross-dock part is key. They aren't warehousing it, they're moving it. Velocity over storage. It's the only way to handle that kind of volume without the product spoiling.
I mean, as long as the reefer units are actually maintained. We can't have the Ottawa Blitz happening with $40 million pharma loads.
Now it's time for Spot Rate Tape, our Tuesday segment where we break down the national benchmarks and see who's got the leverage. Good morning, everyone. Let's look at the tape for June 23rd. National dry van spot rates are holding a fragile floor at $2.18 per mile, essentially flat week over week. We're navigating a two-tiered economy. Retail demand is showing some muscle, but industrial output remains tepid. On the open deck, flatbed rates took a hit, sliding 2 cents to $2.74 as sluggish farm machinery sales create a drag on the specialized sector.
Flatbeds taking a hit? That's a change.
It is, but the reefer market is where the volatility lives. National averages sit at $2.58, but that hides the regional churn. Our call-out lane this morning, Miami to Atlanta. The Florida produce season is officially in the rear view, and we've seen rates on this lane plummet 18% in the last 10 days. Conversely, keep your eyes on the Pacific Northwest. Yakima is tightening fast on the cherry and apple harvests, and we expect a 15-cent bump there by July 4th.
Typical. One region dies, another one catches fire. My thing is, these rates are still a grind for the owner-operators.
The big picture story? Carriers are starting to blink on labor. We're seeing the first wave of driver pay hikes from the majors, a clear signal they're betting on a tightening cycle that could run through 2027. My outlook? Expect a volatile summer as the market starts its slow, grinding turn back toward the carriers. Spot rate tape? That's a wrap.
Now, let's get into the main event. C.H. Robinson is finally back in the M&A game. They just dropped $75 million in cash to acquire DeSpir Logistics. This isn't just a capacity play. It's a surgical strike into the ultra-secure freight niche.
I mean, it's about time, right? They've had a 5-year acquisition drought. But why DeSpir? Why now?
Because we are in the middle of a GPU gold rush. CargoNet is reporting an unprecedented surge in targeted theft of data center components, GPUs, server racks, copper. Organized crime rings aren't just stealing random pallets anymore. They're targeting the AI infrastructure boom.
Now that's what I'm talking about. These silicon drivers and AI bots are great until a real-world crew of thieves knows exactly what's in your trailer because they hacked the manifest. You can't automate a gut feeling that something's wrong at a truck stop.
But that's exactly why Robinson is buying DeSpir. DeSpir specializes in high-value, complex freight. They bring the security protocols, the hardened logistics that Robinson needs to keep these high-margin contracts from unraveling. It's a strategic pivot to protect the most expensive cargo in the world.
It's sort of a defensive play, right? If you're the VP of supply chain for a major AI firm, you don't care if the rate is a few cents lower if your $10 million shipment of H100s vanishes in a parking lot in Georgia.
Exactly. The liability is astronomical. If Robinson can offer a secure chain of custody as a product, they can charge a massive premium. It's about moving from we move boxes to we guarantee delivery of critical infrastructure.
I just hope they're actually hiring real security and not just buying some fancy software that tells them the truck is gone after it's already been stolen.
Look, the deal is expected to be accretive in 2026. They're using cash on hand. It's a disciplined move. They're not overpaying for growth. They're paying for a specific capability that the market is screaming for right now.
My only concern is the integration. Adam McDonough is overseeing it, but blending a boutique security firm into a giant like C.H. Robinson can be, well, messy. If they lose the special ops culture of DeSpir, they've just spent $75 million on a brand name.
I agree. In my world, the relationship is everything. If the DeSpir team feels like they've just become another cog in the Robinson machine, the quality of service will dip, and those high-value clients will notice immediately. You can't automate trust, right?
Right, but if they pull it off, they've essentially built a moat around the most lucrative segment of the market. It's a high-stakes game of chess, and Robinson just took a power piece.
Just as long as the guys behind the wheel are still the ones making the calls on the road.
That does it for us today. We've covered everything from the death of the paper manual to the high-stakes world of GPU theft and the deepening of the Norfolk Harbor. Keep your wheels turning and your manifests secure. Bye.
Later.
Peace out.
See you in the fast lane.